Yo, what's going on, everybody? Coach Sean again, back with you for part two of Kalos Framework 2.0. Going to be breaking down the second step in developing your fitness lifestyle, which is the second I. You want to identify goal gaps, compare and contrast, and look at these differences. So, first off, let's start with what is a goal gap. A goal gap is the difference between where you currently are and where you want to be regarding a specific goal. When the gap can be identified, the steps and actions needed to bridge this gap will be revealed through study and research. Understanding and identifying this gap effectively assists in creating a customized plan for your fitness development. So, mainly, like I said, the reason we do this goal gap and why I have people take the time to do it is because a lot of people in fitness, they love to set body goals, fitness goals, all of these types of goals, but they don't identify what the gap between where they are now and where they want to go is. And the reason why this is important is because you need to know just how big the gap is or how small that gap is. For some people, they have a really big gap. Oh, excuse me. For some people, they have a really big gap. So if the gap between where you are and where you're going is too big, then you have a lot of things you need to learn in between. But if your goal is like right here, then the goal gap is actually a lot shorter. So all of your goal setting and everything would have been done as far as what you're looking for in your research and developing your knowledge, because you want to get as much knowledge about your goals and what it is you want to do as much as possible. But the true next step is not just plugging things in. The true next step is figuring out what your goal gap is, and you need a certain amount of overall knowledge in order to have an understanding of yourself and the material that you're taking in order to make a right decision, or well, in order to make a correct assessment with figuring out what is actually in between you and your long-term goal for where you want to get to. So that's very important, and I show you how to do that in more detail, how to identify fitness goal gaps. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, guys, and this is all applicable. So this is things you're going to do and actually sit down and do. So if you're taking notes, make sure you take notes. I will also have this entire document available for your download. The first thing you want to do is list out your habit goals, eating needs goals, and level of fitness goals. So I've already went through that. So you just go ahead and write down the types of habits you want to have, how you want to eat as a healthy individual or a more improved or progressed version of you, and the level of fitness that you would like to go to or achieve, or maybe even multiple levels of fitness, because that will actually help make it easier for us to figure out point one, point two, point three, point four, as far as dealing out your actual plan. The clearer the goal, the easier it will be to identify the goal gap. So if you have a body goal saying, oh, I just want to be slim, thick, with a bouncy booty, okay? Just throwing that out there. And nice arms, and I just want to be toned. I just want to be toned, okay? So if you want to be toned, those are cool, but that is not a really clear goal, unless you put measurements as far as how much you want your legs and thighs to grow, and you talk about as far as the type of definition you want in your arms. You want to just get more specific. You want to put things for your goals that can be measured. If it's not measurable, it's not manageable, okay? So that is one of the things we want to do with that. Okay, second step, identify and write down your current habits, your eating needs, and level of fitness. Definitely make sure to list the things you're doing that you know you need to change because it's holding you back. I'm just going to read this one for y'all real slow again. I believe this is more self-explanatory. Identify and write down your current habits, current eating needs, and current level of fitness. Make sure to list the things you're doing that you know you need to change because it's holding you back. So don't skimp out on yourself and don't lie to yourself. This is the time for you to be brutally honest with yourself with the habits that you know that's making it harder for you to stay in shape. With the types of eating needs and habits and things that you have going on, mostly your eating needs, the way you feel like you need to eat right now is probably not good for you. If there's a lot of processed food and food in your diet that's not whole foods, you need to get rid of it, okay? And change it and give it a replacement. And then we have level of fitness. When it comes to that, that's just where you want to be fitness wise. Do I want to go up and down the stairs and be out of breath, or do I want to go up and down the stairs and feel good? Those are all the things that we want to go into and write down so that you are locked in on the things that you know that you need to change. Okay, next, number 3, use the research framework for learning and your knowledge from internalized knowledge to create a list of progressive milestones that will lead to your desired goal by achieving these milestones. So, the research framework for learning, that's where you go and you find information to fill in these gaps that will lead towards your goal. And everything you learn from the internalized knowledge aspect, those are things you're going to use to help guide your choice making as far as what you say you should be doing or what you should do, as far as having milestones that lead to the big goal. So what we're doing is we're creating all of the little small wins and identifying what those small wins look like. And by us doing that, that will lead to the big win. Okay. So let's take the example of a guy who wants to do push-ups. He wants to do 100 push-ups. Okay, let's say that's a goal that you set out for yourself. The first thing you're going to do is do your research, learn everything you need to learn about push-ups, find the information that's relevant to you, that's going to help you progress. And then when you get started, you figure out probably principle 1, principle of specificity. You're going to have to do more push-ups to do push-ups. So you're doing push-ups. Cool, we figured that out. 2, principle of progressive overload. You're going to have to do more push-ups in sets and reps over time. That can look like starting off with 3 sets of 10 push-ups, then going to 3 sets of 20 push-ups, then going to 4 sets of 15 push-ups, and then 4 sets of 20 push-ups. It's progressive overload. I don't know if you did the numbers that quick, but I said 3 sets of 20 push-ups is 60 push-ups. Then if I did 4 sets of 15 push-ups, that's 60 push-ups. And then if I do another 4 sets, but I do 20 push-ups, that's 80 push-ups. So you can see by setting up the workouts and the numbers for sets and reps in different ways, it can make it easier for you to have progressive overload. So you're just not trying to go from 2 sets of 50 push-ups to 1 set of 100 push-ups. It's more likely that you'll reach your goal if you break it down like I just explain to you, rather than just trying to get there in like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, let's go ahead to the 4th step for identifying your goal gaps. You want to regularly assess your goals and progress with a regularly weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly plan update session. This can be done at your own discretion based on your plan details. That's pretty straightforward. I don't know how else to really explain that one to you, except for the fact that you need to check in with yourself. That's what I'm saying right here. Check in with yourself on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly process. Every time you're supposed to hit a certain milestone, that's a really good time to evaluate your progress and update your session and your plans as well, because sometimes you may move a little bit faster through your program. Sometimes you may be moving a little bit slower. If you're moving a little bit faster, then you need to appropriately adjust your program to allow yourself to do more intensity and volume sooner. If you're moving slower than what you need to do, then you need to adjust your program so you can do less volume and less intensity than what you would need to do. So you would still progress, but you wouldn't just do like a big jump. Instead of maybe going from 3 sets of 20 push-ups to 4 sets of 15 push-ups, you may go from do something a little bit easier, which may be like 3 sets of 20 push-ups to maybe 5 sets of 10 push-ups instead. So you gather more of that, endurance. If you realize, hey, I need more, or strength, if you realize I need more strength, then cool, you can do that. If you realize you need more endurance, then you can find other ways to make it like, okay, we'll do 3 sets of 25 push-ups, but I'm going to give myself a 5-minute break between each set. So these are things that come with time and that you have to sit down and analyze after taking notes of everything you're doing with your plan as you're following and progressing through your fitness lifestyle. And people who do have their own fitness lifestyle, this is what they do. Okay, so I'm going to review all these again because I'm going to leave step 2 as a part of this, and I'm going to give you a few more tips to maybe help you a lot. So step 1, identify goal gaps, compare and contrast. You're looking for differences. So compare and contrast, look at the things you do have that you want to keep and look at the things you don't have that you want to get rid of or approach. The goal gap, just being able to identify the differences between where you're currently at and where you want to go, and filling out all of the in between with milestones that will help you get from where you are to where you're at. So the small term or short-term accomplishments, you want to go ahead and plug those in. Those are milestones, and then the long-term goal. Okay. And then the whole process for identifying your fitness goal gaps, you want to list out your habits, eating needs, everything that you want to do goal wise, and make sure it's clear and concise as possible. The clearer it is, the easier it will be to identify. Second, you want to identify and write down your current habits. Please be as honest with yourself as possible. Don't cheat yourself. A lot of people cheat themselves with where they're currently at. Don't do it. Most of you know better as far as what you should not be doing. Write those things down and put it in your face so you can change. If you don't do it, you're not going to change. 3. Use the research framework for learning and your knowledge from internalized knowledge to create a list of progressive milestones that will lead to your desired goal by achieving these milestones. This is where I normally personally help my clients with this part of the process. If that's something you need more help with, shoot me a DM at Kalos_theory. And then regularly assess your goals and progress with a regularly weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly plan update session. This will be done at your own discretion based on your plan details. Okay, so again, this entire document will be made available to you guys. I hope this was an impactful video for some people. I know one of the biggest things a lot of people have a hard time figuring out when it comes to fitness is not where they want to go or where they should start. Well, a lot of people do struggle where they should start, but if they even do get started and they're trying to get to where they're trying to get to, a lot of times they just don't know how to get there. So this second part is what helps you with that. Okay, peace out.